Hello guys, how you guys doing? On today's video, today's lovely day, I have a good news for South Africans and to Africans in general. South African World Cup of 2010 have been ranked the best World Cup ever by Sports Bible. For those of you that don't know, Sports Bible is like it's a media and company in the sports world that talk about sports and mostly football. So World Cup have been going on for the past 100 plus years. For the fact that they gave it to South Africa, kind of makes sense. Me personally, I started watching World Cup since Italian 90. That's about you know 30 something years ago. So yeah, and I understand why they gave it to South Africa in 2010. It's good. Actually, it's believable because the most vibrant South Africans are generally vibrant people, so they incorporated that vibrancy, they party into the World Cup, and I see it, and actually I think it is worth it because the only World Cup that is close to uh, South Africa is Qatar. The last World Cup, you know. So Qatar actually stepped up the game because it feels like a good uh, uh, World Cup. But South Africa was there. The Vavazula sound that were playing in the stadium, the chants, the noise. So it lived up to the hype. The World Cup was nice, even though at the end of the game, at the finals, I was rooting for Netherlands to win. But at the end of the day, Spain got the World Cup because they are much more tactical than Netherlands. Even though Netherlands their offense were explosive, so Spain were tactical and they won that final. So shout out to South Africa, and I think it's a proud moment for not just South Africa but to Africans in general. I remember around 27, 20, 20 207, 28, 209 when South Africa is getting it for the World Cup. People were complaining, can they host it? African countries, do they have the resources to do it? Oh, they don't have the infrastructure. South Africa, surprising the whole world, built it. And thank you for Jacob Zuma. He was president at that time, president of South Africa at that time. And then they delivered. They actually hosted a World Cup there is no scandal that affected the World Cup itself. So it was a very good host. South Africa was a very good host of the tournament, and then, despite the fact, if some of you that know the politics that goes with sports, FIFA was going through a lot around that time. This was when Sepp Blatter was being investigated, and Platini was being investigated for crime, corruption, because they said that some of these countries that are hosting the World Cup paid to get the slot. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know that's what's going on, but for the fact that they tried to make it a crime, they didn't make it a crime all this while until South Africa was given the title to host it. South Africa and Qatar. Then all of a sudden, boom, investigation started. So I end up letting Sepp Blatter, which was the former FIFA president, to step aside because he was in that throne for you know donkey years. So yeah, South Africans, it's the good news. I know some people will challenge it, some people will not believe it, but as I said, I've been watching World Cup since 1990, Italian 90, and then all the way to 2025, which is the 2020, 2018, the last World Cup, which is 2022. Qatar was in 2022. Yeah, something around there. So I've been Advent World Cup watcher. So the next one is USA. Hopefully they might live up to the hype. But for now, currently, South Africa has the best World Cup ever hosted by according to Sports Bible. And then if you're South African, if you agree with that, share your thoughts in the comments. And if you don't agree with that, if you're South Africa or not South African, share your thoughts in the comments. But I see it. The thing is, I actually see it being the best because the vibe, the energy, And sometimes, like Qatar World Cup, sometimes sports stadiums are empty and all that stuff. Not with the South Africa. It was full energy, vibe. So I see it. And infrastructure issues, those issues that some critics was pushing that South Africa might not live up to. South Africa delivered. You understand? They hosted a World Cup by themselves, and USA is hosting. USA is going to host it with Canada and Mexico. So it's a badge of honor that it's a country in comparison to America. It's not even close. Hosted it by themselves, and Qatar at the same time did the same thing. So we're gonna see next summer, see how USA is gonna pull up. USA, Canada, Mexico is gonna pull up in the World Cup. But at the end of the day, congratulations to South Africans, and it's worth it, you know. So if you have watched up to this point, thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification button. I'll see you guys on the next one.